With the United Nations saying that about 25 million Nigerians are at the risk of facing hunger this year in Nigeria, that's in 2023, it's only right that we as a people take the lead to see how we can reduce many Nigerians going to bed with an empty stomach. With arable lands from east to west, north to south, it's only more of a surprise that we're still being faced with the issue of hunger in the land. But how can we correct and also see how we can change the narrative and make the agricultural sector thrive? And how can we do so, especially bringing our youth who seem to be the driving force in our nation's development? Well, a continuation of what we started last week as we look at the agricultural sector and how we can indeed push more of our young Nigerians who seem to be the drivers of the economy into it is what this edition of The Big Story is all about. And like I said, we're continuing with it. We're talking about agriculture and encouraging young Nigerians into the sector. Well, anyway, like we said last week, made that promise and we'll continue on it. And that's what we're having as a major discourse today on The Big Story. And it will only be proper if we do such discussion and bring someone that's already in it, an agriculturalist and also an entrepreneur. There is also a young Nigerian that is doing pretty well in that very sector to also have this lovely discussion with us. And hence, we have no other person, but our resource person is Mr. George Anthony Ogenekewe. He's an agriculturalist and entrepreneur, and also, well, a proud farmer, as we'll say it. We were thinking of changing the name to Agro. Maybe if we bring in a different name, just like fashion designers formerly called tailors and all of that, we might always have a change of narrative. But all the same, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, sir.
Well, anyway, I just quickly want us to dive straight to it because, well, this is where it stands. Yeah. Many young Nigerians are in every bit shying away from agriculture. Yeah, we do know Nigerians being faced with a whole lot of challenges as it concerns the agricultural sector. We have the issue of insecurity and all of that. But let's look at young Nigerians, because that's the reason we're having this discussion. Now, is it true that young Nigerians can venture into agriculture and make a living from it?
Oh, yes, they can. And I think there's this no awareness.
Okay.
Yes. There's non-awareness. There's a lot of money in agriculture. And these young youths do not have that awareness.
Okay.
And I say, if we can talk to the government and bring awareness on agriculture,
yes,
for these young lads, young people, our youths,
yeah,
it will be of great help.
Of great help.
Yeah.
Now, forgive me, but you sound educated, and I know you're educated. But the problem is, there's this belief that more of the challenges we go through, especially those that went to higher institution, is that they feel, well, agriculture should not be for those that went to the four walls of the university, but rather should be left for those that did not even attend school in the first place. So is that notion right? And do you feel it all has to be payable white-collar job that every young Nigerian should have? Is this not a venture that should also be manned by the educated ones?
Good. The truth is that most of these educated people, they go to school, all they want is white-collar job.
For sure.
They don't dig deep to know if there are things that pay more than white-collar job. I can tell you, I can boldly tell you, agriculture will pay you more than any white-collar job. If you are interested, if you have the zeal for it,
yeah,
it will pay you so much than even this cry for oil job, oil job, oil job.
Yeah.
You understand? If you put your interest in, you get the results.
Okay, now I would really want to know, what are you into and what agricultural ventures can young Nigerians go into?
Yeah,
well, let's start with you, though.
Yeah. Personally, I'm into poultry production and fish farming.
Poultry production and fish farming. Okay.
I basically deal on broilers.
Okay.
There's a lot of money in it. Yeah, but for this period of time,
yeah,
we're having issues with our feeds.
Okay.
And this all depends on this not going to farm. We don't have people who venture into farm. And that is why we're having problem with feeds.
Okay, but so you're saying those feeds can be grown here in Nigeria. It's
Very
not like
well.
we're importing them from outside. But is it surprising that the feeds are very, very expensive?
Yes, because we are not going into farming. What are the components of feeds? The raw materials for feeds. We also get them from farming. Maize, soya beans, fish. So, if all of us put hands together and go into it, you will see feed will drop immediately. Production of feed will drop. Sometimes I feel the governments of the day is shying away from these things because they all see oil, 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 oil. They should look beyond oil a little. Take it off from the oil. Let's give awareness to our people, to our young youths. There is money in agriculture.
Okay, now let's look at it because you brought this up and I really want us to look at it and look at the challenges. You talked about non-availability of government aid to young Nigerians as they want to venture into agriculture. But let's look at that and look at other major challenges that you feel most young Nigerians are also into it like you are going through now. What are the major challenges?
Yeah. Presently, the challenges we face is diseases.
Okay.
Diseases in poultry farm is high.
Okay.
It's also high in farm production, plants.
Okay.
So, what do? We have to tackle those diseases.
Yeah.
We bring awareness on how to stay away from the diseases, farm diseases.
Okay.
What can we do to protect it and to make sure these things do not affect our farm?
Yeah.
Like I said, another challenge is costs of production.
Okay.
And why? It's still the fact that we do not encourage the youths to go into it. But though our former governor did a lot, he encouraged a lot of the youths, Nigerians in Delta states to go into farming. But you see, in agriculture, one thing is awareness and the other is the flair for it. I cannot come and give to you
what you don't have interest in.
What you don't have interest in. I think we should look into that direction properly. Go into the streets, go into the field. Look for those lads, those young youths that are burning. They have this burning zeal. This is what we want to do. And empower them. You will see it.
But let's look at government contribution to all of this. Because like you raised two major issues. We're talking about awareness to know diseases are one of the biggest challenges.
Yes.
They can come in and wipe out a whole flood of birds and all of that. Now, let's look at that. How much of an intervention, because I do know you have an association.
Yeah.
Young Farmers Association of maybe poultry or fish farming, all of that. Now, how much interaction do you have with most of these government agencies as it concerns giving you guys awareness of impending disaster as it concerns diseases that will reach your farms? Or not only that, but coming regularly to train, re-educate, and tell you better new techniques to deal with those challenges you've made mention of. How much of an interaction do you have with government?
That's a very good question. And I must tell you the truth. I want to be frank here. The government is not putting more. They do give us interaction, but the force is poor.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, there are new techniques in all of these things.
Yeah.
And I believe that these techniques are not going to the farmer on timely basis.
Okay.
Which it is wrong. And I believe if the government step up that action, it's going to be a very good help to the farmers.
Now let's talk about financial help, because sometimes most of these challenges like diseases can just come and wipe out a whole farm, and you now have to go back to square one to restart again and get more funds. And sometimes I've even had a situation of meeting a farmer, an old one though, and he complained bitterly of how he used his contribution from all his savings he had, and all of them went wiped away and nowhere to get funds. Now let's look about funding. How much of that help have come from the government side, irrespective? We're talking about federal and state.
Yeah, truth be told, the government is trying but not trying enough.
Okay.
Why did I say it's not trying enough? You see, I was involved also.
Yeah.
My flocks have been wiped away several times. But you write to them, they'll keep you on standby. You know government protocols?
Yes.
It takes a longer time. And for example, if you take that money to start that business, maybe from a cooperative,
Yeah.
your flock goes down or the farm goes down. Before government will come to even investigate, it takes a lot of time. And maybe you are on interest.
Yeah.
The interest is running. Some of these farmers, they die because of these things. Because it gets into their head. Some of them get into depression. And they eventually fall off. The one that's are strong enough, they pick up their shackles and start all over
again.
They borrow again. It is poor. It is poor enough to know that the government is not helping matters swiftly. They do help, but it is too slow. It is too slow. It is too slow. Because when we come to agriculture, it's a daily thing, it's a daily income. It comes daily.
Yeah.
So if these people falls down and you pick up investigation to find out, what are these things? Okay, how can we prevent it? You see, you give them money again, or if not all.
Yeah. But a part of it.
A part of it to encourage that farmer. I tell you, we will go far.
Okay,
So
now
I'm calling on the government to speed up that part for us.
Okay, well, anyway, talk about speeding it up. I would also want you to help us speed up this. Now, let's look at what kind of agricultural ventures, because somebody might be listening to us now. A young Nigerian will like, okay, okay, the challenges are there. We know them before now. And most times, many persons will come out to want to venture into any agricultural sector and would put at the back of their mind that there's no need help coming from anywhere, especially from the government sector. Like you said, cooperative, I do know some farmers open up cooperative all in the need to help themselves. But what kind of agricultural venture can someone go into, a young Nigerian that might be listening to us? And we're talking, I know quick returns are not always there, but if you are to advise, what kind of, which one would they naturally go into within this period? Because I know we have seasons as it concerns the weather, and some of these businesses strive according to the season. So what advice would you have?
Yeah, my advice for young Nigerians who wish to go into agriculture and you have money, I will basically tell you to go into maize farming.
Maize? Maize?
Maize.
Whoa.
But you can't really go into maize farming if you don't have money, because it's going to take land. And I must tell Nigerians that maize is lucrative. Extremely lucrative. But you need a vast land. If you want to cultivate it. Because go into maize for mass production. You will see money. There's a lot of income there. But see, our government is blinded on that part. Why do we have problem of maize, soya beans all the time? Without this maize and soya beans, there will be no chicken. Let's not deceive ourselves. If you want to feed chicken with only plants, it's going to take you more time. But when you have these soya beans and maize, then fish for fish meal. Okay. You get your result in 5 weeks.
Yeah, now, so let's look at it basically. All we're saying is, it's not like we lack the land, though. It's not like we lack the right seedlings when it comes to, using that. But the issue is lack of information.
Lack of information.
Lack of government awareness. Lack of government support. And a whole lot of we not understanding that some of these agricultural sectors can really give us that very good return. But anyway, I want to ask you this question because I'm a bit, we are also in the 9 to 5 kind of work. can we also gain from going to agriculture without naturally going to the farm? Because some other persons listening to us now will say, okay, well, I don't have the time.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. You can be in your home,
yes,
and making a lot of money from agriculture. How?
How?
You invest. Look at those intellectual people who have the mind, who have the flair for agriculture. Those companies. Even this government can go into agriculture without even going to farm, sending their citizens into farm.
Yeah.
All you need to do, get a chairs. For me, it's a part of it. I have friends who meet people like that. And you will see your returns. You can even have land. You can donate it without you going to the farm.
Yeah.
You will see what it will generate. I will tell you again and again, agriculture has more money. Oil planting, that's oil, palm oil, has money than crude oil. Go to the international market, Google it, you'll see it. There's a lot of money in palm oil than crude oil. So all of these things, I don't know why Nigerians are not interested in farming more, especially Delta states here. We are too keen about oil money, oil money, oil money.
And we can't drink the oil though.
We can't drink it. You see a young graduate coming up, you ask him, where do you want to work? Oil company. Nobody thinks of going into agriculture. And few of us that goes into it, there's no support.
Yeah. So don't you feel that might be what is scaring many Nigerians away?
Yes, it is, but you do not have to be scared. Get your information rightly. Once you get your information rightly, I have been hit 3 times, very strongly, but I've never quitted. Why? The flare is there, the flare burns.
And the returns are massive.
And the returns are massive.
I needed to add that to it. Let's know where the direction.
That returns motivates you.
Of course.
When you know, there was a time, I just believe on white collar job. Till my boss, Mungo, told me to go back home. I have a boss, Dr. Frank Mungo. I worked with him for about 7 years. He told me that go back home and work for your brother, which is Chief S.O. Marine. I came back home and I was working with him. That was where I got the view. The zeal. He was a farmer. He was a politician and also a farmer. I saw a lot of things he was doing, and I picked an interest in
agriculture,
poultry production. It was there I knew that Delta states can plant onion. It was there I knew Delta states can plant watermelon, can plant tomato, can plant carrots.
In Delta State? In
Delta State, right in area where I come from. We can also plant rice, and it is fantastic. So all of these things I knew through Marine. It opened my eyes, and when I got into it, I walked into it, I saw money in it.
Anyway, we'll see more of that talk later. We need to go on the break now. I'll plead with you. We need to also get our own money and let's pay our bills. But anyway, when we come back, we'll talk more about encouraging young Nigerians into agriculture. Because with the recent trend, you agree with me that what's pushing inflation in the country as it stands, especially with the recent release of National Bureau of Statistics indicating that our inflation rate is now put at 25.80%, all for the past 7 years in a row. Agriculture or food inflation seems to be the driving force. But anyway, we need to go get that break and we'll come back and do some more.
Yeah.